بالميامين هداتي من بني هاشم بخاتم النبيين أخي الوحي أبي.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the series The Great Trust. Every wise and hardworking gardener works precisely with his seedlings if he wants them to grow into fruitful plants. So must parents and caregivers in whose hand is the trust, the children that Allah has bestowed them with, if they want them to be carefully grown and nurtured into useful individuals in the society. In our last sessions, we discussed and saw into the holy house of our Holy Lady Fatima Zahra alayha salam, and saw how she used to train her children, that they were born or they were such useful members of our society. Not that just useful, but they were role models from that time till the day of judgment for us and our families. And our alima also brought into some very nice nutrition points for us from the household of Lady Fatima, which was obviously a benefit for us and our viewers. To continue more on this religious training of children, we will invite our alima Razia Batul Najafi to the studio. Assalamu alaikum, dear alima.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And welcome once again to our studio, and we must say that subhanallah, Allah may bless you with a lot of jaza in this world and hereafter, because you're helping us work towards this common goal of bringing children on the right path, which is obviously a big heavy task on the shoulders of parents, and it's good if they have people like you to share or help them out with.
Whatever we have is from the
definitely, but Allah makes a source to make duties easy for us, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Last week we were talking about the religious training in terms of children, and to see that it starts way early, not after when they're teenagers or when they're baligh, but a lot earlier, like from before their birth. But last week we looked into the younger age group from 0 to 7, that how important it is to give them the religious training. And this one hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that came into my view, that the Prophet says that curse be on the parents of the Akhir Zaman, the parents of the last times, because they will neglect their duty of providing religious training to their children. They would give them everything else, like the luxuries of the world, give them the best secular education, send them to nice schools, or give them the best food, but what will they lack is that they will lack in giving them the proper religious training, which is a right of a child.
Absolutely.
And there was this sentence which Rasulullah said, فَأَنَا مِنْهُمْ بَرِيءٌ وَهُمْ مِنِّي بَرَاءً. That is, I am away from them and they are away from me. So I really like it, and if you can, for benefit of us and our viewers, elaborate on this and talk along these lines, please.
Thank you so much, Zahra. You are giving me this opportunity to do a bit for Islam, whatever we can do, and do the tabligh of this beautiful Islam and religion and the saying of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. As you have mentioned, this is very, very, like I can say, thought-provoking hadith, and we can say it has a lot of the aspect of fear, because it gives a lot of khawf in us.
Right.
Because when Prophet, he's Rahmatul lil Alameen, when he started to say Wailul li aba'i akhir zaman, so the companion, they started to ask, and they were so astonished by the way Prophet was cursing the parents of the last time. So they said, maybe you are cursing on the mushrikeen, disbelievers in that time, because most of the people, they will leave your religion. Yeah. So, but our Prophet, he said, no, they are not mushrik, they are mu'min, they are Muslim. That was, giving so much grief to Prophet, that they are Muslims, but they are not giving importance to this training of the Islam and the religion. So then the word veil, gives a lot of,
emphasis,
emphasis,
hadith,
yeah.
right.
And the second is this bara'ah. both are, very rarely our Prophet he uses in his, talks
as
and
far
sayings.
as I know, bara is used for mushrikeen, or the category which is out of Islam.
Definitely.
But here that you said it's for mu'mineen.
Yes, we should be so much, aware, inshallah, about it, and be very, very careful about our religion, about our hereafter, about our, life, which is never, last, ever living life. It's very important. So that's why our Prophet, who is Rahmatul lil Alameen, again and again I'm emphasizing, and we should sit and think about it, that how much our Prophet used to think about our akhirah, and we are neglecting our akhirah. That is something, very strange, because he's saying that whenever this ayat of, that Quran says that there will be 7 doors for heaven, there's so beautiful conversation and dialogues between Fatima Zahra Salamullah Alaiha and between our Prophet, then how much they were worried about their ummah, about this generation until the day of Qiyamah, and how Prophet he said, I want to be proud in front of other ummah about, my ummah, my nation, my Muslim, generation, that they are so pious, they are so, on Sirat al-Mustaqim. So that's why if we talk hours and hours about religious, training, I think it's not enough. We are not doing just to it. So we have, alhamdulillah, so many ahadith. As always I say, we are rich, and we say proudly that, because we belongs to Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, that's why we are so rich in matter, in, this teaching, and which is the religious teaching. As we have heard about so many hadiths, but this hadith was so beautiful that Imam Ali alayhi salam, he's saying that innal imana la yabdu lum'atan bayda. The iman, the faith, the belief, it is a spot of light in our hearts, فإذا عمل العبد الصالحات نما وزاد. In very positive way, in very beautiful way, our Imam is saying that the Iman itself is the beautiful, one spot of light. But, it's spread with every good action, with every good deeds, with amal salih, so much so it fills whole heart. By this action we can fill whole our heart. So we have heard about that, that sin is a spot of darkness.
Right.
But this is the other way, which
of it, right?
Imam Ali alayhi salam is saying. So we should start to, instill this beautiful light and nur from Quran and Ahlul Bayt to our children's heart, inshallah. So that's why the parents, because as we said before, that especially from age 0 to 7, we should, act upon whatever we act upon it, and we should teach them by our action. So we as a good Muslim, we as a practicing Muslim, we should divide our daily, routine and daily life in 3 parts. One is for ourselves, one is to communicate and the connection with Allah, one is for serving others. Like even in house, we are, doing serving our family. So if we have this kind of divided, beautiful timetable, and it is a balanced life, it's a perfect life, it's so beneficial for our soul and for our body both. So then definitely our children, they will, observing us, and
they will learn, and they will apply in their own lives.
Definitely, yes, no doubt about it, because they are watching that my parents' life is divided into 3 sessions. So one session which is about the munajat and whispering and praying to Allah, that part we should give so much importance to that one. Like another one is that's why Zahra, when I was reading the the beautiful character of our holy lady Fatima Zahra Salamullah Alaiha, and I was watching the same hadith, she was acting upon it, and she was dividing her beautiful life. And even when she is serving her household, like especially her children, and Janabi Fidda salamullah alayha, how much again religion and Allah and concept of oneness, how much she was instilling in her, like family. So we can learn very easily, and we can teach our family very easily by this action,
Following this
character
example.
of Bibi Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha. One, I want to say, inshallah, we will look at the meal time
In the house of Lady Fatima. Okay.
in the house of Lady Fatima. Yeah, definitely. One is the meal time, and other one is the prayer time, and one thing I think the bedtime.
Okay.
These are very, very common thing, and there no any extra time to need to sit and learn religion, and we are not
So these
forced.
are daily times that they come every day. You don't have to make extra time for this
Yes,
meal, prayers,
yes,
and bedtime
yes.
is always
the
there.
real Islam is that. Real Islam means whatever we are doing at home, it should be according to Islam. Whatever it should be it requires the Islamic needs. Like it's so easy to say ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub, like by the remembrance of Allah, the hearts and the mind get that tranquility and peace. But the children are watching, like if I'm reciting Quran and if I'm saying and claiming big things, but whenever I'm in tough time, something happened to me and suddenly some bad news comes to me, so how I react, if I start to scream, if I start to backbite, if I start to show my high temper, then child will say she's not my mom or my
Following
dad,
what
she's not solving,
teaching,
she's not going towards Quran and Ahl Bayt or sajda or namaz. Yesterday I was talking to my son. I was we were watching TV, and there was some namaz time and namaz jama'at. They were showing, alhamdulillah, nowadays we have so many
Right,
religious
satellites,
channels.
right.
One of them is Hadi, inshallah.
Inshallah.
It will be, inshallah, the light and nur of Ahlul Bayt saying. So I was saying, look, everybody is in sajda, how beautiful, how much they're taking pleasure. And inshallah, you take too, because we face towards Kaaba, and Kaaba is the most important thing, because he's in age of 5, so I can't talk more than that. But when he knows about Kaaba and he sits every day towards Kaaba and do a bit sajda, but that pleasure, if I take and if I have to express, maybe I'm a good one of the mother, maybe she's a very good in ibadat, she's taking herself pleasure, but she can't connect with her child. But we have to a bit talk
Try
and
to
connect.
impart it
Yes.
to our children as well, the positive qualities.
Yes, exactly,
definitely.
exactly. So I was just expressing and telling that, look, when we say Subhanallah, means, oh Allah, you are needless, but I'm needy. So he was saying, yeah, really, I'm very needy. I want everything. Yeah, he doesn't want anything, but I want so many things. I want this, I want that. So it's so beautiful. We can talk in our daily life. So whenever we are in stress, or we are in very
Frustration or something is down under the weather, that we say.
So we should go towards namaz and sajda and dua, and we talk to Allah. That is the beautiful way and actual way of teaching. Yes.
Religious training.
Definitely.
Okay, Alima, we'll take a short break. I know this is a very unusual time to take a break, but we will have to take a break, and we'll get back with more points after a short break. Thank you very much.
إلهي بالميامين هداتي من بني هاشم بخاتم النبيين.
Welcome back, our viewers, and hopefully you're still there. We'll continue from where we left last time, dividing our day into 3 portions. And back to you, Alima, about continuing with the way of showing ibadat and practically working on it and instilling the value into the hearts of our children.
Yes. Yeah, alhamdulillah, we are visiting and going to our Holy Lady Fatima Zahra's house, and we are allowed to visit spiritually.
Right.
Alhamdulillah. So we are doing this journey. So as I have mentioned about meal time, as we know that in the hadith about meal time is very famous hadith, but one of the narrator of this hadith is Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha, and she's saying in this hadith that this hadith is with regards to 12 etiquettes about the eating time, about the table time. Yeah. So which are divided into four portions. Four that are obligatory, four of them are recommended, and four of them are discipline and adab. So just we can talk about four of the first one, the obligatory one.
Okay.
Obligatory one, she's saying that the first one, she's saying that about ma'rifah. Know that Allah is the only provider. Like tawheed, it's so important. Like la ilaha illallah. Like when we sit on our table, we can talk about it.
So
like,
how can you teach monotheism on the table while
Yeah,
eating?
yeah.
It's a good concept, but
very good.
how
yeah,
can we
and
do
very-
it practically?
This is farz. This is obligatory. That's why I'm saying, in our daily life we should teach because we can't live one single second without
Thinking
concept of
or-
Allah,
right.
without the concept that Allah is present and Allah is there. So about meal time, like if I know that the life, the power of eating, sitting, watching, taking pleasure, and all this ni'mat, everything, la hawl wa la quwwa. We don't have any movement, single movement. We don't have any kind of power except from Allah,
Right.
So antumul fuqara in Arabic, one of the translation is the spine bone. Like if my spine bone is weak, then I can't even move. So like that we are faqir, we are we are totally rely on
Dependent
it,
on Allah,
him,
right.
on Allah. So la ilaha illallah, that's why we said 0 to 7, 0 to 7, not from first 4 months,
right.
baby saying la ilaha illallah,
When they
parents
cry,
are saying la
right.
ilaha illallah, this is la ilaha illallah, azan, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Nobody can attract me. Nobody is there to whom I should listen or obey or spend my this precious time. Nobody is there to provide anything to me, so why I should give time to them, and I give my life to them. I give a bit attention to them. So it's so important and very, very easy and very, very beautiful too. But first, I as a mother myself, I have to
Act on it
and digest it. That la ilaha illallah practically in my whole house. So if I know that Allah is a provider, everything is going to Allah, then how I sit first of all with ma'rifah, it comes in only for few seconds in our mind, when we'll get trained with it. But for beginning, it needs a lot of time. Then the second thing which she's saying is riza, whatever comes from him, we must be pleased with. We learn to be, pleased,
Content and
content.
peace,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, like we know, first of all, I'm knowing that nobody has any power, nobody has any kind of thing to give, nothing they have. Everybody is darkness, everything is dark. Only one nur, Allahu nur samawati wal ard.
Right.
Only there's only one nur. So then if I know that who is my Allah and how He is and how much He's mahraban, kind, merciful, and He loves more than mom, then I know whatever He is giving is best for me. So I'm so pleased. I said, I know this is best. I know in my city, if I don't get, for example, this kind of fruit or this kind of any kind of food stuff, so that is not maybe that much beneficial for me. That's why we said the seasony fruits
right,
are
right.
best in your country. Nowadays they said eat the honey which is make in your own city or country, not from outside. So some things are really we have to be really pleased and content that this is best for me. That's why Allah has given me, like He's the best chooser. He's the best, He's selecting for me. He knows, He care of me more than even myself, not my parents even, so if I know, and Zahra, if you have this kind of belief, because I have learned these things from my mother, she, mashallah, she has so much trust on Allah. And she said, in the war time, I was in Iran, Qom, and there was a war between Iran and Iraq. And maybe my father, he was so worried about me. But my mother, she used to say, I have, sent my daughter to Islamic University, and I know Fatima Ma'asuma Salamullah, she is there, Allah is there. They know how to protect her. I don't know anything. Maybe in my place she's not that much safe as much as she's there. And I have seen the sukoon, the peace which she has, and even about eating, she eats everything. She has sugar and some disease, but she said Bismillah Rahman Rahim something, and she said no, because this is tabarruk and this is from Imam Hussein, this kind of thing. Other things, mashallah, definitely she's so careful about healthy food and everything, exercise, but somehow whatever is connected to religion, she said Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I know bihaqq Imam Hussein nothing will happen, and nothing happens, mashallah. Yeah, that is very important, and we watch it, and many of us, alhamdulillah, we have this kind of habit. So Rida gives health to our spirit and to our body both. Because Bibi Fatima Zahra, she's giving us this beautiful etiquettes, this kind of discipline and adab and fara'id, it gives health to us. It gives it has so many benefits which we can't even imagine. And the third one, she's saying tasmiyah means begin with the name of Allah. Now who's Allah, from where this food has come, because Allah very well, He has provided you this food, so you are so pleased, you're saying Alhamdulillah. Now you said, because He has given to me, so now I want to eat with His name. If we eat with His name, what will happen? That food will remain forever. How? Because the food will make flesh and blood. Yeah, it will become one of the part of the body, and that body will do zikr of Ilahi. Then I will use that strength,
to
that time,
him, to connect with Allah,
to connect with Him, to take pleasure of Him, to get nearer to Him. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. We should be sure about it, that the food and the action and the act and the work, whatever job we do with His name, with awareness, just not with adat and habit. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Then we will get that opportunity to serve others for Islam, for sake of Allah. Otherwise we don't get that opportunity. I have seen, because alhamdulillah I travel a lot, so many people, they say we have so much time, we have so much money, we have so much facilities, we want to do something good, but we can't. We are not getting that opportunity. Sometimes some obstacles come in our way, and sometimes we don't trust some person, sometimes we start but it's stuck. Allah never ever gives without any wisdom opportunity to others. So if I get opportunity to do good job, that means I have done this fara'id on my meal time. And the fourth one and the last one is be grateful of what we have been given, Allah has given to us. Definitely in the end, when I have used Allah's bounties, blessing, then I have to be thankful
to Him.
Yeah, thankful to Him.
So let me just again summarize what you said in these beautiful 4 points. That to start off with the concept of Tawheed, to say that there is no God but what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to be happy and to be satisfied and content with what He has given. That is the concept of rida. And then the thirdly, tasmiyah, that to start with the name of Allah and to believe that this is the blessing of Allah, and then that blessing will be long lasting in the body of a person.
Exactly.
And fourthly, being grateful and being thankful that Allah has provided us with all the bounties and the blessings that are on the table that time. So these were the 4 points that the 4 wajib points that you said, the obligatory point that Bibi used to emphasize on during meal times for her children.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely, if our moms or if our parents can instill these, it would be like there will be like a dose of monotheism on the table
and
itself.
Every single meal time. So how many times we have meals. So if like this, a mother has trained her child each and every single meal time, she's feeding her child with this concept, definitely when her child get grown up in the age of after 2021, so there's no wonder in uni, if somebody says something and something happened to him, he will be very content, and he will be he can say no to everything but yes to Allah, you know, because that is
That would be the
is very
priority in
important.
his
Yes.
life.
And then the end of his like when he's become you know, above 60, then inshallah when Allah will call him, you know, the last call, and Allah will invite him with this beautiful ayah, ya ayyatuha an-nafsul mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah. You know how we said it, oh soul at peace, return to your Lord pleased and pleasing. So inshallah, you know, there's no wonder if we say labbaik with raziyatan marziyah, with that soul to his Allah, and before that maybe for his imam, yeah, when present imam will call, he will be the first person to say labbaik with this kind of beautiful training.
Right. Definitely, if these concepts are instilled into the mind of a child from a young age, then they become habits, and later on then there's no thinking,
Exactly.
it just comes to you naturally. So our dear viewers, with this our session for today does come to an end, and we would like to close with a short reminder of the hadith of the Prophet, that he said that obviously we don't want to be those parents who the Prophet is cursing during at his time. We definitely want to make sure that we give our children the best training, that what we know we pass it on to them, the positive qualities, and we should not be the neglectful ones that on the day of judgment that we have to face regretment or punishment. If we have something good, we should definitely pass it on to our children, and what best than to pass them the training of Islam, the religious training. With this we would like to end. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.